Amulya Kumar Raul. I have done my MTech from IIT Delhi. Currently, I am working as assistant professor in Graphic Era University, Dehradun. And today we will discuss the sampling theorem. Sampling theorem. The sampling theorem statement. Sampling theorem states that any band limited signal can be which is band limit to B hertz can be recovered from its samples if sampling rate is greater or equal to twice the bandwidth of the message signal. Now, the sampling theorem statement states that any band limited signal which is band limit to B hertz can be recovered from its samples if the sampling rate is greater or equal to twice the bandwidth of message information. Okay. Now let us consider a band limited signal x of t, which is band limit to B hertz. According to the statement, if sampling rate fs is greater than or equal to twice the bandwidth of this message information, then we can recover the original signal from the sample signal. Okay, right? Note here. Here I am saying the band limited signal. What is the meaning of this band limited signal? Band limited signal is nothing but any signal which is band limit to some value. Band limit to some value means if you go for the spectrum of the signal is up to some finite frequency. That means if it is not extend to infinite frequency, that signal is known as band limited signal. Okay, and what is the meaning of a time limited signal? Any signal which is time limited. That means any signal which is up to some time, up to some finite time. That means any signal which is not exist up to infinity, that is a time limited signal. Okay, if you take an example, if you consider an example, x of t is this rectangle signal. This is from minus t to plus t, minus t to plus t. T may be 5 seconds, 10 seconds, like this. Okay, and this is t axis and this is amplitude. That means this is a time limited signal because this signal is not exist up to infinity. This is time limited to this t second. Okay. Now, if you go for the Fourier transform of this signal, the resultant will be 100% this is sync. But here what we have to write? Here we have to write the width of the signal. What is the width of the signal? This width is nothing but 2t. And which domain we are going for? We are going from T domain to F domain. Here we have to write this is F. And here we have to write something. What is that you have to write here? Area under this signal. What is the area under this signal? This is nothing 2AT. Okay. That means if signal is a rectangle in time domain, in frequency domain it will be sync signal, and sync will be like this. This is nothing but width and this is nothing but area. This represent area. Okay. If you plot this signal in F domain, that means if you go for the spectrum of this x of t, or if you plot this sync signal in F domain, the spectrum will be looking like this. The spectrum will be looking like this. This is F axis, and this frequency, this signal in F domain, it is exist up to infinity. Okay, that's why this signal is not band limited signal. This signal is not band limited signal. This signal is time limited signal. Now tell me, what are the zero crossing points? If you go for zero crossing point, first of all put this is equal to 0. If you put this equal to 0, this is sync 2tf is nothing but sine 2tf pi divided by sine divided by pi 2tf. Put that is equal to 0 and go for the general solution of a sine signal, and finally you will get here 1 by 2t, this is 2 by 2t, and this is 3 by 2t, and so on. This is minus 1 by 2t, and this is minus 2 by 2t, and so on, so on, so on. And here at f equal to 0, you will get this is nothing but a t. Okay, that means you are getting here, if the signal is a time limited signal, that means the signal is a time bounded in time domain, that never be band limited. That means in F domain it will be exist up to infinity frequency. Okay, now we can conclude here. Any signal, note 1, any signal which is time limited, that signal never be band limited. The signal which is time limited, that say signal never be band limited, and also vice versa. What is the meaning of vice versa? That means any signal which is band limited, that never be time limited. That means, take an example also. We can go for, if you go for frequency domain, this is suppose F domain, and this is minus T0 to T0, and this is suppose A. This is the spectrum. This spectrum is band limited spectrum. If you go for the corresponding time domain signal, the time domain signal will be also sync, and here we have to write, what you have to write here? Width of the signal. This is nothing but a 2t, and which domain you are going for? T domain you are going for, you have to write here t, and here we have to write the area under this signal. What is the area under this signal? A to A t. If you plot this time, this is nothing but what? Inverse Fourier transform. This is F domain signal. If you want to find the T domain signal, you will go for inverse Fourier transform. Now, if you plot this time domain signal, the time domain signal will be looking like this. This is also sync signal. This is time axis, and in this time axis It is not time bounded or time limited. It is existing up to time t equal to infinity. That's why any signal which is time limited, if you go for this example, this signal is a time limited signal and that signal never be band limited. If you go for this signal is band limited, that signal never be time limited. Okay, now if you want to find the zero crossing point here, this is also 1 by 2 t naught, this is 1 by 2 by 2 t naught, and this is minus 1 by 2 t naught, and so on. And here you will get 2a t naught. Okay, that means conclusion is like this: any signal which is time limited, that signal never be time limited. But here, and another one point, all practical signals are time limited signal. Because suppose whatever I am saying, this is the speech signal, this is the practical signal, this is time limited, because I cannot say up to time equal to infinity. I can suppose if you go for a lecture of 5 hours, this is up to 5 plus, but no one can say up to time t equal to infinity. That means practically all the signals are time limited. Okay, if practically all the signals are time limited, that signal never be band limited. But here the sampling theorem states that any band limited signal, but here we are considering the band limited signal. This statement is for ideal case. We are considering the band limited case. That means that signal never be time limited. Okay, this is the ideal case we are going for. Okay, now we will go for, this is the note. Now we will go for proof of sampling theorem. Okay, what is the proof? Let us consider any band limited signal x of t. Suppose this is a band limited signal x of t. This is x of t and this is t dot. Okay, and say that Fourier transform of this signal is x of f. Because we are considering the signal is band limited, suppose this signal is a band limit to b hertz, and here I am considering, suppose this is a and this is which axis? This is f axis. That means this signal x of t is band limited to b hertz. Okay, now sampling theorem states that we will go for the sample of the signal first. How will make the sample of the signal? How we will make the sample of the signal? This is your original signal x of t. This is your original signal x of t. Whenever you multiply this x of t with a train of impulses, whenever this original signal or message signal is multiplied with a train of impulses, then we can get the sample signal. That means a train of impulses means this is the train of impulses. Suppose I am saying this is train of impulses. What is this? This is nothing but train of impulses, and this is exist from minus infinity to plus infinity, and this is 0 and this is ts, this is 2ts, this is minus ts, this is minus 2ts, and so on. And I am writing this is nothing but del ts t, train of impulses. This train of impulses, mathematically if you want to write, this is nothing but summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity del of t minus nts. Okay, this is the train of impulses. If you multiply this train of impulses with this x of t, as a result you will get the sample of the signal. Okay, how you are getting the sample of the signal? I want to write some note here. This is the note. That means whenever x of t is multiplied with del of t, what is this result? This is nothing but x of 0 and del of t. And if we go for x of t minus t naught, multiply with del of t is equal to, this is nothing but also if you go for this is x of t multiply with del of t minus t naught, this will be how much? X of t naught del of t minus t naught. Okay, here exactly same thing we are doing. If you write the equation for this impulse, what we have to write? This is 1 del of t. 1 will represent strength of the signal or area under this signal, and del of t, that means we can write del of t here, this signal, and this signal is nothing but del of t minus ts. This signal is del of t minus ts, and this signal will be del of t plus ts, and so on. Now this one represent the strength or area under this impulse, and this one also represent the area under this impulse. Whenever you multiply this train of impulses with this x of t, and exactly this operation, multiplication operation, will do the operation over minus infinity to plus infinity. That means exactly every time we have to do the operation, we have to apply the operation at t equal to 0. If you apply, this is the t equal to 0, this is t equal to 0. Here what is the value of this signal at t equal to 0? Can I say this is nothing but x of 0? At t equal to 0, this value is x of 0. At t equal to ts, what is the value of this? Can I say this is x of ts? Right? Now if you multiply this signal with this signal, you are getting x of t multiplied with del t is nothing but x of 0 and del of t. This x of t 0 will represent the area under this impulse, can I say? And this x0 is nothing but the amplitude of x of t at t equal to 0. That means here if you multiply this x of t with del of t, that means that instant we are capturing the amplitude of this x of t, and that is represented by the area of this impulse signal. That means, can I say this is nothing but we can get here, this is the x of 0 del of t, and if you multiply this signal with this signal, you will get here also one impulse. This is ts del of t minus ts, and here if you multiply this like this, and you will get exactly another one impulse, another one impulse, another one impulse, another one impulse, and here this side also you will get impulse, and this side also you will get impulse, and this, and here 0, this is ts, 2ts, minus ts, minus 2ts, and so on. These are the impulses, but this impulse represent, this is the area under this impulse, but this area will represent the height of the signal or magnitude of the signal, original signal x of t at t equal to 0. And this, if you want to write, this is equal to minus ts del of t plus ts. Okay. Now whenever x of t is multiplied with this train of impulses, we are getting the sampled signal. And here this train of impulses I am representing like this. And if I want to represent this sample signal, I am writing sample signal like this. Okay, this is the sample signal, and sample signal is nothing but, can I write, this is x of t is multiplied with train of impulses. X of t is multiplied with train of impulses. These are the analysis in time domain. These are the analysis in time domain. I want to the same analysis in frequency domain. If you go for frequency domain of the signal, I am assuming the frequency domain of the signal x of t is this one. That means, can I say this is the spectrum of x of t? This is minus b2 plus b, and this height is a, and this is f domain. Can I write it like this? This is x of f. What is this? This is the Fourier transform of this x of t. Similarly, we have to find what is the corresponding Fourier transform of this train of impulses. Okay, now what is our target? Here we have to find what is the corresponding Fourier transform of this train of impulses. Now we have to find the Fourier transform of this train of impulses. Fourier transform of this train of impulses. This is nothing but this is our target. We have to find this. Okay. Now this train of impulses we can write like this. This is nothing but n is equal to minus infinity to infinity del of t minus nts. This is the train of impulses. Okay. Now tell me, if you see this train of impulses, this is the train of impulses. If you see this train of impulses, can I say this train of impulses is nothing but a periodic signal? And tell me, what will the period of the signal? Ts will the period of the signal. Can I say this signal, if you consider the one period minus Ts by 2 to Ts by 2, this is one period of the signal. Okay. Now this is a periodic signal. Okay. Now you know from Fourier series, any periodic signal can be expressed by their complex exponential Fourier series format. You know from Fourier series, any periodic signal can be expressed as the complex exponential Fourier series format. That means this is a periodic signal. If you want to write the Fourier transform of this, a Fourier series of this, that means we can say this can be also written summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn e to the power j 2 pi n f s t. We can write like this. Okay, that means any periodic signal can be expressed as their Fourier series expansion. Now here we have to find what is the value of Cn. If you want to find the value of Cn, Cn is nothing but what? This Cn is nothing but 1 by Ts integral over Ts del Tst e to the power minus j 2 pi n fs t into dt. Okay. But in this, if you want to find the value of Cn by this method, this is a really lengthy method. Okay. Here I am discussing the shortcut method, how you will find the value of Cn. This Cn, we can say this is nothing but 1 by Ts g of nfs. Now question is, what is this capital G? I am saying this capital G is the capital G of f is the Fourier transform of GT. Inverse Fourier transform I am writing because in this side I am writing the G of f and in this side we am going for time domain. That means we can say Fourier transform for G of t, small g of t is nothing but a capital G of f. Now question is, what is G of t? This is small g of t. What is this small g of t? Small g of t will be the one period of the periodic signal, which is centered at t equal to 0. You are getting my point? That means this is the G of t. What is G of t? G of t will be the signal from this periodic signal, one period of the periodic signal which is centered at t equal to 0. That means, can I say here this GT is equal to this signal del of t. This is 0 and this is t axis. Now what is the corresponding Fourier transform of this? G of f is equal to 1. Now tell me, what is the value of G of nfs? This is nothing but this is 1. For all frequency, this is 1. Now this Cn is equal to 1 by Ts G of nfs. Now this is nothing but 1 by Ts G of nfs. Fs is equal to 1. Now this is equal to 1 by Ts. Now here we are getting this Cn is equal to this Cn is equal to 1 by Ts. If you write here this Cn, that means we can say this train of impulses can be expressed as this train of impulses del Tst can be expressed as summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn we can put here 1 by Ts e to the power j 2 pi n fs t. Okay, and this 1 by Ts is the constant. Take outside of this summation, we can get this is nothing but summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity e to the power j 2 pi n fs t. Okay, now what was our target? That means any periodic signal can be expressed by their complex exponential series, Fourier series. This is the periodic signal. I am writing the complex exponential Fourier series of this signal. This is the representation of this signal also. Okay, now tell me, actually our target was we have to find the Fourier transform of this. Now if you want to find the Fourier transform of del Tst, this is nothing but Fourier transform of 1 by Ts summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity e to the power j 2 pi nfs t. Take 1 by Ts outside of this Fourier transform because this is a constant. Fourier transform also obeying this linearity property. That means this Fourier transform can go inside this summation. That means can I write this summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Fourier transform of e to the power j 2 pi n fs t. That means this will be 1 by Ts summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity. What is the Fourier transform for this? This is nothing but del of f minus nfs. Fourier transform of this is equal to del of f minus nfs. Okay, now in time domain the train of impulses is like this, summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity del of t minus nts, and in frequency domain this is nothing but 1 by Ts summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity f del of f minus nfs. That means can I say in time domain and frequency domain, in time domain this is the train of impulses, and in frequency domain this is also train of impulses. The train of impulses in time domain, this is behaving as a train of impulses in time domain, same will be behaving as a train of impulses in frequency domain. Okay, next point is we got here, if you go for this slide number 3, this is the train of impulses in time domain. In frequency domain also it will be train of impulses. In frequency domain it will be also train of impulses centered at f equal to 0, and this is f axis. After this is fs, next is 2fs, next is minus fs, next is minus 2fs, and so on and so on. Because here if you see this is nothing but what? Del of f minus summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity del of f minus nfs. That means f equal to 0, we are getting one impulse. And what is the strength of this impulse? The strength of impulse is nothing but 1 by Ts, and this is del of f we can write. This is 1 by Ts del of f minus fs, and so on. And this side also this is 1 by Ts del of f plus fs we can write. Okay, now corresponding time domain of the signal is this, and the corresponding frequency domain of the signal is this. I am assuming this, and next is I am multiplying this x upper t message with a train of impulses, and result is this one, multiplication result. I am finding the corresponding Fourier transform of this train of impulses, and we are plotting here the spectrum of the train of impulses. Train of impulses spectrum is also train of impulses. We are getting this. This is the frequency domain of this. This is the frequency domain of this, or spectrum of this. This is the spectrum of this. Next point is, what is the corresponding spectrum of this sample signal? Okay. Now our target is, we have to find the Fourier transform of. Now our target is find the Fourier transform of x del t t. What is this x del t t? This is nothing but sampled signal, okay, of original signal x of t. This is nothing but Fourier transform of x of t. This sampled signal is nothing but a multiplication of original signal with train of impulses. Train of impulses, I can write this del t st. Okay. In time domain, these two signals are multiplied. If we go for frequency domain analysis, these two signals will be convolved. They will go for convolution. Fourier transform of x of t convolution with Fourier transform of del t st. And Fourier transform of xt is nothing but, I am writing this is capital X of f convolution with this Fourier transform for train of impulses. What we get this Fourier transform for train of impulses? We get this is 1 by ts summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity del of f minus n fs. Okay. Now we are getting this. Okay. Another one note here. X of f convolution with del of f. What is this value? This is nothing but x of f. And x of f convolution with del of f minus nf naught or nfs. What will this value? X of f minus nfs in, sorry, this is x of capital X of nfs into del of f minus nfs. Oh, sorry, this is mistake. This is nothing but del of f minus nfs. Okay, this is nothing but x of f minus nfs. Now this is the what? If you go for this, that means a Fourier transform of x del t is nothing but, this is convolution also linear operator. Convolution is also linear operator. And take this 1 by ts outside of this convolution. I can write here 1 by ts. And this is nothing but x of f convolution with summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity del of f minus nfs. What I told? Convolution is also a linear operator. Convolution is an linear operator. 1 by ts x of summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of f convolution with del of f minus nfs. Okay. Now I am continuing this. I am writing the Fourier transform of this impulse signal. I am representing like this. Okay. This is the Fourier transform of train of impulse signal. Sampled signal. This is the Fourier transform of sampled signal. This is equal to, we are getting 1 by ts summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of f minus nfs. This is what? This is the spectrum of, this is the spectrum of sample signal. This is the spectrum. This is, basically frequency domain signal of sample signal. Okay, that means this is the Fourier transform of sample signal. Okay. Here, if you plot this signal, if you plot the spectrum of the sample signal, if you plot the spectrum of sample signal, what we are getting? The sample signals Fourier transform we are getting like this. This is 1 by ts summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x f minus n fs. We are getting like this. If you want to plot the spectrum, this is, can I say, this is nothing but 1 by ts x of f equal n equal to 0. Next n equal to 1 summation x of f minus fs plus x of n equal to minus 1 f plus fs, and so on and so on. That means, can I say, the sample signal spectrum will be summation of the shifted version of this original signal and scaled by 1 by ts. Okay, that means we can say, if you want to plot the spectrum of the signal, the spectrum, we are in 7th slide, right? If you want to plot the spectrum of sample signal, the spectrum of a sample signal will be first at, this is x of f, and height will be, initial height was, signal height was a by, this will be scaled by t 1 by ts, that means this will be a by ts. Next point will be shifted, that means this will be, and this will be the 1 by ts, and this point will be at fs, and this point is f axis, this is f axis, and if you shift left, the spectrum will be like this, and this will be minus fs, and this is a by ts, and if you add all these terms, final results will be looking like this. You add this signal and result will be this. Next you add this, you will get this. Next add this, you will get this, and another you will get here. In this manner you will get like this vector, and this height is scaled by a by ts. This is f, and this is fs, this is 2fs, this is minus fs, this is minus 2fs, and so on and so on. What is this? This is nothing but spectrum of the sample signal. This is the spectrum of sample signal. Now point is here, what is this band limit value? This was b. If this is b, now tell me this is fs. Now tell me what is the value of this? Fs plus b. And what is the value of this? This will be nothing but fs minus b. Now here, what is this value? This is nothing but b. And what is this value? This is nothing but fs minus b. Here there are 3 cases. What are the cases? First case, these 2 points may be at the same position. Or second case, maybe this position is greater frequency than this frequency. Next, third case is this frequency may be lesser frequency than this b hertz frequency. That means the case 1 part we discuss. Case 1 is if both are at same position, that means this fs minus b is equal to b. Here this fs will be exactly 2b. If you want to plot the sample spectrum, sample spectrum will be like this, and this point will be at the same. The sample spectrum will be like this. The sample spectrum will be like this. This is the sample signal spectrum. If fs is equal to 2b, that means these 2 points are same. These 2 points are same. Okay. Now this is the, what is this value? This is a by ts. Okay. Actually, sampling theorem states that any band limited signal which is band limited to b, that signal can be recovered back from its sample if the sampling frequency is greater or equal to twice the bandwidth of that signal. Here we are considering the sampling frequency is nothing but equal to 2 times the bandwidth. Here we are considering the sampling frequency is 2 times the bandwidth. That means in this case, really we are able to reconstruct this original signal or not, I want to show you. Okay, that means if this signal, the sample signal is passed through an low pass filter, whose cutoff frequency is B, this is minus B, and whose gain is TS. Which axis this is? This F axis. If this sample signal pass through this ideal low pass filter, at the output of a low pass filter, what we will get? Exactly, we will get this signal. What will this height? This will be A. And what is this point? This is B. What is this point? This is minus B. This is in which domain? F domain. Now we are getting, whenever this sample signal is sampled at Fs is equal to 2B, 2 times the bandwidth of the signal, we are getting the spectrum of the original signal. If you get the spectrum of original signal, if you get the time domain signal, go for inverse Fourier transform, and finally you will get x upper t signal. That means here one point we conclude here, if sampling frequency is equal to 2 times the bandwidth of the signal, original signal recover is possible from the sample signal. Okay, whenever Fs is equal to 2 times the bandwidth of the message signal, the message signal can be reconstructed back from the sample signal. It is possible in this case. Okay, and this sampling frequency Fs is equal to 2 times this bandwidth is known as Nyquist frequency or Nyquist rate, we can say. We can say this is the Nyquist rate. Okay, case 2. Case 2. What is case 2? Case 2, I told you Fs minus B is greater than B. The frequency of Fs minus B is greater than B. That means we can say this Fs is greater than 2B. If you want to plot the spectrum of the sample signal, the spectrum of the sample signal will be like this. The sample signal spectrum will be like this and so on, and this is Fs, this is 2Fs, this is 0, this is A by Ts, and this is B, this is Fs minus B, and this is minus B. Okay, and if the sample signal is passed through an ideal low pass filter whose cutoff frequency is B Hz and gain is equal to Ts, at the output side we will get also this is the signal. What is this? Can I say this is nothing but x of f? X of f is the spectrum of x upper t. If you go for this inverse Fourier transform of this, we will get x upper t. That means when Fs is greater than minus B is less than B, we can say here Fs is less than 2B. If Fs is less than 2B, I am considering one case Fs is equal to B. This is the subcase of case 3. Subcase of case 3. I am considering Fs is B. This is less than 2B. Okay, and what will the sample signal spectrum? The sample signal spectrum will be first this will be, next will be like this, they will be overlapped, and this is B, or this is also fs minus b. This is b and this is also fs. Okay, and if you, this is a by ts. What is this? Sample signal spectrum. In this case, these signals are overlapping to each other. That means at the result, if you go for the resultant of this signal resultant will be, this is nothing but a straight line, a by ts. Because you see here, this is the signal. Here also, here to here, this spectrum is add with this spectrum. If you see here, at f equal to 0, what is the value of this spectrum? A by ts. What is the value of this spectrum? This is 0. A by ts plus 0 is equal to a by ts. Here resultant will be a by ts. Exactly at this b by 2 or fs by 2, here you will get the spectrum value of this is equal to a by 2s, and the spectrum value of this is equal to a by 2s. If you add this a by 2s with a by 2s, a resultant will be how much? A by ts. Exactly in this side, this is decaying and this is increasing slope, right? If you add this, you will get always a constant signal. This is nothing but value will be a by ts. Okay, this is the resultant signal. This is the sample signal. That means this is nothing but sample signal spectrum. If you also pass this signal through a low pass filter having gain is equal to ts, the resultant will be how much? The resultant will be like this. What will be the value of this? Ts is ts cancel out, and you will get here a, and this band limit to b minus b to plus b. Here can you get this original signal? If you take this inverse Fourier transform, can you get this original signal except for t? No. Because spectrum of original signal is like this. If you go for the inverse Fourier transform of this signal, then you can get except for t here. But here, the signal spectrum at the output of a low pass filter, you are getting this. This is nothing but, this is not like except for t. That means here, what is the case? In this case, we are considering fs is less than 2b. That means whenever fs is less than 2b, we are not able to reconstruct this original signal from the sample signal. Okay? Or subcase, this is the subcase 1. If you go for another one subcase 2, that means suppose fs is equal to 3b by 2. If I am considering fs is equal to 3b by 2, that means 1.5 b. The spectrum will be like this. The sample signal spectrum will be like this. That means here in this frequency range, this spectrum and this spectrum, they are overlapped to each other. That means exactly whenever you pass this signal through ideal low pass filter, exact original this signal cannot be the result. And this effect is known as aliasing effect. Also here, everywhere we are getting this aliasing effect. At each and every frequency, we are getting this aliasing effect. But here to here, we are getting this aliasing effect. Okay? Because of this aliasing effect, when fs is less than 2b, we are not able to reconstruct or recover the original signal from the sample signal. Okay? That means final statement, what was our statement? Sampling theorem states that any band limited signal which is a band limit to b Hz can be recovered back from its sample if the sampling frequency is greater than or equal to twice the bandwidth of this message information, and hence this is the proof. Okay. Now we will solve some problems. Problem 1. Determine the Nyquist rate of the following signals. Determine the Nyquist rate of the following signals. Part A is cos 200 pi t. B is cos 200 pi t plus cos 4 cos 400 pi t. C is cos 200 pi t into cos 400 pi t. D is sin t. E is sin square 100 t. F is sin 100 t. Sin to the power 800 t. This is the problem 1. Now we will go for the solution of this problem 1. Solution. Now question A. Cos 200 pi t. If you go for the spectrum of the signal, that means if you go for this Fourier transform, the Fourier transform will be what? Del of f minus 100 plus del of f plus 100 divided by 2. If you go for the spectrum of this, that means the one impulse at 100, another one impulse at minus 100, and this strength is 1 by 2. The area under this is 1 by 2. That means this, what is the maximum frequency or what is the band limit frequency of this signal? This is nothing but 100 Hz. That means we can say the maximum frequency of this signal is equal to 100. If you go for the Nyquist rate is equal to 2 times this Fm. This is equal to 200 samples per second. This is what? 200 samples per second. Next, part B. Part B is cos 200 pi t plus 4 cos 400 pi t. This signal contains 2 frequencies. What are the frequencies? One is 100 Hz. Next one is 200 Hz. That means the maximum frequency of the signal is nothing but what? Fm maximum frequency of the signal is equal to 200 Hz. Okay. Now if you want to find the Nyquist rate is nothing but 2 times the maximum frequency. 2 times maximum frequency is 200. That means 400 samples per second. Next question C is cos 200 pi t into cos 400 pi t. If you want to find what is the maximum frequency of the signal, what we have to do? We have to multiply 2 here and divide 2 here. 2 into cos A into cos B it will give this is answer is cos 200 pi plus 400 pi t plus cos 200 pi minus 400 pi into t. The maximum frequency of the signal now, this is 600 pi t and this is cos 200 pi t, and the maximum frequency of the signal will be how much? FM maximum will be 200. Sorry, this will be 300. This is nothing but 1 by 2 cos 600 pi t plus 1 by 2 cos 200 pi t. Now what is the maximum frequency of the signal? This is nothing but 300 Hertz. Now the Nyquist rate will be 2 into 300. This is 600 samples per second. D. Now sync T. If you have the sync T, then if you go for the Fourier transform of this sync T, now actually whenever question is given, what is the Nyquist rate? We should go for what is the maximum frequency content in the signal. Okay, this is the sync T. Now question is, what is the maximum frequency content of this sync T? This is nothing but a rectangle signal in time frequency domain, and this is nothing but what? Here we are always writing the width of the signal. That means, can I say this is 1 by 2 and this is 1 by 2 and this is F domain? What is this height will be? Area, this will be 1 and this will be the x of F, the corresponding Fourier transform of the signal. Now the maximum frequency content in this sync T is nothing but this is 1 by 2. Can I say Fm is equal to 1 by 2 here? Yes, right. Now Nyquist rate is equal to 2 times Fm, that is equal to 1 sample per second. 1 sample per second. Next is E sync square 100t. Sync square 100t. That means, can I write this signal is nothing but sync 100t into sync 100t. Sync 100t into sync 100t. In free time domain, these two signals are multiplied. If you go for the frequency domain, this multiplication will become convolution. That means the corresponding frequency domain of this signal, this is nothing but what? This is nothing but minus 50 to 50, and that means height is different. We can get this height, but we don't need this height. We are focusing on what is the maximum frequency content. Here, this is convolution width. This is from minus 50 to 50, and this is F-axis. If you convolve these two signals, what will the limit of this? I mean, what will the upper limit and the lower limit? This into this, this plus this, and upper limit will be this plus this. Lower limit will be this plus this, and upper limit will be this plus this. Can I say the upper limit will be at 100 and lower limit at minus 100? That means whenever you are getting this upper limit is 100, what is the maximum frequency content? Is equal to 100. If this is 100, what is the Nyquist rate? Nyquist rate will be 2 into 100. This is nothing but 200 samples per second. Next, F. F is given sync 200 100t convolution with sync 200t. In time domain, these two signals are making convolution. In frequency domain, they will make the multiplication. What is the corresponding Fourier transform of this signal? This will be 100% this rate signal, and rate multiplication here. Next will be Fourier transform for this signal. Fourier transform for this signal will be from minus 100 to plus 100 F axis. If you multiply these two signals, the resultant frequency will be, the maximum frequency will be not at 100. Because if you multiply this signal with this signal, the resultant signal will exist up to 50. That means maximum frequency will be 50 Hertz. You are getting my point? If you multiply this signal with this signal, here this is 50, here this is also 50. You are getting some amplitude here, and here you are getting some amplitude. Multiply this amplitude and you will get this result. But beyond this 50, here this is 0, but beyond this 50, this is having some amplitude, but 0 is multiplied with some amplitude, the resultant will be 0. Now tell me, what is the maximum frequency content of these two multiplication? 50 Hertz. That means what is the maximum frequency content in this signal? 100%, this is 50. If you want to find the Nyquist rate will be 2 times 50, that means 100 samples per second. Okay, this is F question, and next question is G is equal to sinc 800T. If you want to find, first of all, question is given, you have to find the Nyquist rate. If you want to find the Nyquist rate, first of all, you have to find what is the maximum frequency content in the signal. Now tell me, what is the maximum frequency content in the signal? These signal are multiplied. That means sinc 100T multiply with sinc 100T. How many times we are multiplying? 8 times we are multiplying 100T. 8 times sinc 100T is multiplied. Now in time domain, if they are multiplied, in frequency domain, what they will do? Convolve. That means what is the corresponding frequency domain of the signal? This is nothing but from minus 50 to 50 Hertz, and convolution with this is also minus 50 to plus 50, and here also convolution minus 50 to plus 50. Now if you convolve all these 8 signals, what will the upper frequency?
400.
Means 50 into 8. Upper frequency FM will be 400 Hertz. Now Nyquist rate, what will the Nyquist rate? Nyquist rate will be 800 samples per second. Next, problem 2. Question number 2. Suppose x of t is equal to sine pi t by 2 divided by pi t by 2 convolution with summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity del of t minus 10n. This is the GATE 2015 question. This is x of t. Determine the Nyquist rate. Determine the Nyquist rate. Okay. This signal in time domain, they are making convolution. In time domain, they are making this convolution. In frequency domain, what they will do? They will multiply. Now, tell me, what is the corresponding solution? Corresponding frequency domain, x of f will be, this is nothing but sinc, this is this, can I write, this is sinc t by 2 to sinc t by 2 convolution with summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity del of t minus 10n. Okay. Next point is, this is nothing but, whenever you go for this frequency domain, sinc t by 2 will be a rate signal, and width will be from minus 1 by 4 to plus 1 by 4, because here width is 1 by 2 represented. This is minus 1 by 4 to plus 1 by 4. But I am not writing what will the height, because my focus is we have to find the Nyquist rate. That means my focus is we have to calculate what is the maximum frequency content in the signal, resultant signal. In time domain, they are converge. In frequency domain, they will be multiplied. What is the Fourier transform for this signal? Already we discussed. What is this? This will be 1 by Ts 10 summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity del of f minus nfs. Fs is how much? 1 by 10. Here this is in time domain, this is a train of impulses, and in frequency domain this must be a train of impulses. Already we discussed this. Now this signal is multiplied with this train of impulses. Okay. Now if you plot this signal, this is your direct signal. If you multiply this signal with this signal, that means if you plot this train of impulses here, at f equal to 0 we will get. That means here this is 1 by 10 del of f. After this, put n equal to 1. 1 by 10 we will get one impulse. 2 by 10 we will get one impulse. 3 by 10, 1 by 10, 2 by 10, 2 by 10, 3 by 10, 4 by 10 we will get some impulses, and 5 by 10, 6 by 10, minus 1 by 10, and like this we will get. Can I write like this? This is nothing but 2.5 by 10. Can I write like this? 2.5 by 10. Okay. Here this is 4 by 10. If you multiply this signal with this signal, at this 4 by 10, resultant will be 0, because here 4 by 10, this is 0. At this 3 by 10, here this is 0. And here at 2 by 10, here this 2 by 10 is existing, and you will get here multiplied value. But here this existing up to 2.5 by 10, this exists up to 2.5 by 10. That means here also at 2 by 10 this is 0. That means the resultant signal will exist up to 2 by 10. That means now resultant signal is exist up to 2 by 10. Now tell me, what is the maximum frequency? Can I say this is 2 by 10? If the maximum frequency is 2 by 10 Hz, now tell me Nyquist rate. Nyquist rate will be 2 into 2 by 10. This is equal to 4 by 10 samples per second. This is the answer. Okay. Next, another one question. This is the last question. This is the last question. So let x of t is equal to cos 24,000 pi t. Okay, let x of t is equal to 2400 pi t, which is sampled at fs is equal to 30 kilohertz, 15 kilohertz, which is you can take this is 8 kilohertz. Okay, the sample x of t, which is sampled at fs is equal to 8 kilohertz, and the sample signal